Alright, welcome back. It's been a hot minute since we spoke last, y'all. I'm doing a dual Tirreno-Adriatico Stage 5 and Tour de France Stage 13 stream. I don't think anyone's ever tried something like this in the history of professional sports. Yeah, it's pretty crazy, but if there's one man talented enough to do it and pull this off, it's me. Get your little fingers out, get your thumbs out. I'm going to have to do this again because everyone else is going to be late trickling into the stream. Get ready with your finger on the pause button to sync up to where I am in each race. Tour de France, they've just cut to chalets, and so I can't actually tell you the Ks to go. In Tirreno-Adriatico, they're on quite a long climb. Mike Woods is wearing the leader's jersey. It's education first, pacing on the front for him. It's not giving me KMs to go on that either. So as soon as I get kilometers to go, I'll let you know in both races. Astana, I think, are riding for Vlasov today. In the Tour at stage 13, we've got a break up the road, 10 minutes and 55 seconds ahead of the peloton. It's telling me they are exactly 40 Ks to go. 40 Ks to go exactly in the Tour right now. 40 with a 10:56 gap. In Tirreno-Adriatico, if you want to sync up, it's 6.8 Ks to go. So just a brief rundown of what's happened in the Tour. Hold on. I told you, when I've started my flow, you've got to change it to the Pro Cycling Stats overlay. You had 4 days to get ready for this. So in the Tour, just a brief recap of what's been happening on the stage today. There's a big fight for a break to go up the road as Vincenzo Nibali is attacking the 6.6 Ks to go in Tirreno. Big fight in the Tour for the break to go up the road. And eventually Alaphilippe got away with Cavagna, Simon Geschke from CCC, Cavagna being Alaphilippe's French teammate on Quick Step. And they were working pretty well. Marc Soler bridged across them, but there's a really large break in the road. You can see them on the overlay right now. You can see them in the overlay. Obviously, our boy Leonard Kamner is there. Obviously, Nielsen Powless is attacked about an hour early. So, well, we saw on Twitter how it was a learning experience what he did the other day. Maybe he knows he needs to get a gap on the climb, before the climb against the pure climbers. In Tirreno, it's Mike Woods defending his jersey against Geraint Thomas for Ineos, Simon Yates for Mitchelton Scott, Alexander Vlasov for Astana, and Vincenzo Nibali for Trek Segafredo. Forgive me if I'm missing anyone, maybe Fausto Masnada and James Knox for Quickstep. Astana are pacing and chasing back Vincenzo Nibali right now. Not sure which of their riders is on the front. Alan Pride says 3 for 1 tonight, TDF, Tirreno, Giro Rosa. I can't do Giro Rosa, there's no live coverage. Benji and I, if you've been listening to the podcast, you'll know that Benji and I were going to do a Giro Rosa preview because we're trying to cover women's racing as much as is feasibly possible. And there was no start list until like 12 hours ago. So how are we going to do a preview before the race? Well, Van Aert's had a mechanical in the Tour. He's just got a rear wheel change. They got rim brakes, so it didn't take too long. They didn't actually have to change the bike, and he's back on his way. And there's no live coverage of the Giro Rosa. So that makes it pretty hard for us to cover the sport, even with the best intentions of dedicating time to the Giro Rosa. But as you can see, they're on the Côte d'Anglade de Soleil right now. Not a particularly hard climb. I think this is a pretty easy Cat 3. Nielsen Powless, the education first rider, the American, is 28 seconds ahead of that large breakaway group. The winner is going to come out of the breakaway today, guys. I mean, you don't need to be a genius to figure that out. Jumbo-Visma, after chasing the break for quite a while for some reason, eventually decided to take the sensible option and let them go. Lucas Hamilton in Tirreno, the winner of Stage 4, is being dropped. Ineos are presenting in the front in the Tour de France now on this Category 3 climb. And I know I'm getting a little bit excited here, a little bit hot under the collar. But in the Montegual stage, we saw the same thing from Ineos just pacing on the Cat 3 before the Montegual climb, and it was just a defensive maneuver. In the Tirreno-Adriatico, Jakob Fuglsang is attacked. He's attacked Mike Woods, and Mike Woods can't respond. He's got a teammate trying to pace him back. Geraint Thomas is looking good, third wheel. Vlasov, I think, is fourth wheel. Lucas Hamilton took the young riders classification from him. So they're on this Sassos Tetto climb, I think, on Tirreno-Adriatico, and Fuglsang is attacked. I think this is like when Geraint Thomas attacked in stage 19 of the Tour de France on Col d'Iseran last year. Thomas attacked, so the other teams had to chase, and Mühlberger had to chase for Bora, weakening his ability to support Buchmann, and then I'm going to expect a counter attack from Alexander Vlasov. Now, Fuglsang has been brought back. I don't know who the education first rider is that's chasing. Is Dylan van Baarle in the Tour de France? Hey, you've all trickled in. Sync it ready. Get your thumbs ready on the pause button to sync up. 37.1 Ks to go in the Tour de France. 37.1 Ks to go on my stream. Dylan van Baarle setting pace on the front, but no one's really getting dropped. It looks to be a pretty easy pace. I think, they're just chilling and keeping Bernal in good position. The full Ineos trainers there. Vincenzo Nibali in Tirreno-Adriatico is looking a little bit like he's struggling. He attacked really early. Don't know why. Louis Menges is there for NTT. Nielsen Powers has extended his gap in the Tour to 41 seconds over that chase group. I presume they know they'll probably be able to bring him back on that Cat 1. 5Ks to go in Tirreno. 5Ks to go in Tirreno. It's education first, setting pace on the front for Mike Woods. I expect Alexander Vlasov to win this stage. Now, there's not any probably liquidity in the live market, so there you go. Vlasov or Yates, I think, will win this stage. Thomas will try to follow and maybe lose 5 to 7 seconds. Julio Ciccone is there supporting Vincenzo Nibali, Pierre Rolland in the Tour de France. There's this large breakaway group. Now, who do I think is going to win out of this break? I think it's one of 2 riders, or 3 riders. Hugh Carthy, Danny Martinez, and you know who I'm going to say. Oh boy, Leonard Kamna. I think Leonard Kamna is going to... I've got a lot of money. I'll be straight up now. I've got a lot of money on Leonard to win this stage. And to be clear, for prudential reasons, we haven't discussed the stage or anything. I didn't know he was going on the break. But yeah, I think Leonard will do well today. Rafael Majka started increasing the pace for Bora Hansgrohe and Tirreno, 4.7 Ks to go. I'm not sure why Majka is doing that. I don't think he's riding for another Bora rider, and he looked a bit weak yesterday. He has put a lot of riders under pressure, and now it is the pure GC guys in Tirreno. I don't know if it's Masnada or Knox. Who's attacked to the left-hand side again? Is it Ciccone? I feel like Ciccone has attacked again for Trek. Vincenzo Nibali's been attacked, so a bit weird given that their leader's been attacked. Simon Yates immediately closes it. Mike Woods is trying to get onto the quick-step rider's wheel. Vlasov is struggling actually a little bit. Maybe he's playing a coy. Yates has got a fair gap actually on, I think it's Masnada, not Knox. I'm pretty sure it's Masnada. Mike Woods is being tasked with chasing. Geraint Thomas is sitting on his wheel. Luke Rose on the front right now. The peloton in the Tour de France is in a valley. Simon Yates has dropped Ciccone, and I think Simon Yates could definitely win this stage. Mike Woods is not getting any time on him at all, and Yates is looking really good. Should Simon Yates be the favourite for the Giro d'Italia? Geraint Thomas is currently the favourite, Fuglsang second favourite. Andre Amador in the Tour now taking over from Luke Rowe. Luke Rowe's still there, 35.9 Ks to go. Jumbo-Visma once again, kind of in a little bit weird position, just on the side of the peloton, just all jumbled up a bit. Schachmann has attacked the breakaway group. Schachmann has launched a big attack from the breakaway group, and this makes sense. I think he's trying to weaken Education First so that on the Cat 1, where maybe Education First would have Carthy and Martinez, they can't 2-on-1 against Kamna. So good move from Bora Hansgrohe. I don't think Schachmann would have been able to help them on the Cat 1, and no one was really chasing the Nielsen Powers break. Remy Cavagna is on the front for Quick-Step, trying to bring back Schachmann, who's bobbling his head. Geraint Thomas has been dropped. Or he's slowly bridging across in Tirreno-Adriatico. 3.9 Ks to go there. Simon Yates has got a very, very nice gap on that group. And yeah, with 3.9 Ks to go, Thomas just was struggling to follow the move of those other riders. And I can barely see the other riders. They're like 10 seconds behind. It's Rafael Majka who's chasing. It is Masnada for Quick-Step, so James Knox is definitely not Quick-Step's GC guy in the in Tirreno-Adriatico, and Nibali's not even there either. It's Ciccone, I think. It's Micah and Vlasov. Masnada's now been dropped. Micah's just setting pace. I don't know why, because it's suiting Vlasov perfectly. So Micah is pacing back to Simon Yates. Mike Woods has been dropped. Is Mike Woods, should he be a top 5 favourite for the World Championships road race, 5,000 metres of climbing? I definitely don't think Woods can do too well in the Giro, to be honest, because he's not as good at not that good at TTing, and he's not as good a climber as Vlasov, Yates, or even Geraint Thomas, really. But Yates is looking really good. He has an 8-second advantage in Tirreno with 3.6 Ks to go. In Tour de France, Schachmann has put a 10-second gap into that breakaway group. He's 34 seconds behind Nielsen Paulus, but I don't think they should be too worried about Paulus. Let's pretend Paulus isn't actually there on the road, because he has no chance of actually winning this stage. It's really Schachmann just breaking away from those guys, and maybe he'll be able to get a bit of help from Paulus. If I go and look at, there's a little bit of a descent after this, so maybe he'll be able to help. Paulus will be able to help there. Welcome to the stream, everybody. It's been a bit of a 4-day absence, but I'm coming back with a bit of energy. I've had a few good sleeps. I had some 5-hour sleeps, better than 3-hour ones. Kamna, I think, is a certainty for a top 3 in the stage. Certainty for top 3 in the stage, but maybe I'm biased. It's Micah still pacing back Vlasov and Thomas. Now, I think Vlasov should be pretty careful here in Tirreno, that if he leans on Micah here too much, this Yates gap is going to go out too much. It's 10 seconds with 3.2 Ks to go. Remy Cavagna is chasing back Schachmann. So this is good for Bora. They're putting pressure on Alaphilippe and making sure he loses that. They put pressure on his one teammate that he has. Kamna, I've noticed for the last 45 minutes, hasn't been working too much, at least for the last 30, and has been marking Alaphilippe a lot. Alaphilippe is second wheel. David de la Cruz is there. They've got Dan Martin, who's probably a top 5 favourite for this stage. Marc Soler from Movistar. He bridged across pretty strongly, actually, at the start of this stage. Danny Martinez and Alaphilippe are actually the favourites for the stage win. Last time I checked, I haven't checked for a while. Vlasov in Tirreno is going and chasing himself. He's gapped Thomas off the wheel. It's a 17-second gap to Yates, and I don't think they're going to bring back Simon Yates. Vlasov is a little bit too concerned about the riders on his wheel, and I think that's going to cost them on GC. And Yates had to attack early because of Masnada gaining that time yesterday on Mitchelton Scott, but it looks like with Masnada getting dropped as well in Tirreno, it looks like Yates is going to go into the Marga Azzurra. Alaphilippe just pulled a turn there. Cavagna's gone. Marc Soler has attacked across to Schachmann. Kamna doesn't have to follow that. Kamna just needs to follow Alaphilippe if he goes. Martin's attacked across to Marc Soler, and that means that other riders are going to have to go in the Tour stage. Schachmann is 12 seconds away from Paulus. What do you think of the Bora Hansgrohe tactics? I think they're pretty good. Simon Yates, 20-second gap with 2.5 Ks to go in Tirreno. Schachmann is like 10 seconds behind Paulus. He's probably going to catch him on this descent. What do you think of me solo commentating? Not one, but two races at once. Marc Soler is in a group with him, and I think, who's the call for this rider? Nicolas Ede. Him, Dan Martin, and Nicolas Ede are maybe 20 seconds behind Maximilian Schachmann on this descent. I'm not sure. I'd assume Schachmann's a better descender than those guys. But the break is still kind of all together, and I assume that Kamna is just sticking to the wheel of Alaphilippe for now as much as possible. 34 Ks to go in the Tour. Vlasov is still relaying with Micah and Thomas. Thomas hasn't really taken a pull yet. I don't think he has to. He's got that individual time trial in Tirreno, so maybe he's just relying on that individual time trial. 2.1 Ks to go. Simon Yates has the stage win wrapped up in Tirreno-Adriatico. Back-to-back stage wins for Mitchelton Scott at Tirreno. They got criticised by the commentators yesterday for attacking with Lucas Hamilton. But he got the stage win. Yeah, sure, Masnada gained a few seconds on Yates on GC, but he's going to gain them back. Masnada's 26 seconds behind. And Mike Woods is like a minute and 10 seconds behind. Thomas just took a turn. Vlasov is relaying. Benji's working. That's why I can't join the live stream. Plus, I decided to turn this on about 15 minutes ago. The Breakaway group and the Peloton. Is that the Peloton? the peloton's really splitting up. Two Jumbo-Visma riders back there. I actually wouldn't mind the cameras in the Tour de France taking a really hard look at the peloton as they're on that climb, just to make sure that, I know it's probably just Ewan that's been dropped and the guys that were in the gruppetto before they're caught back up, but I just want to see where everyone is positioned on that climb. And it is Ineos driving it. Luke Rowe on the front, Dylan Van Baal third wheel, Andre Amador second wheel. Jumbo-Visma, they do have a contingent of 4 riders there, or 5 riders actually supporting Roglic. Ineos have similar numbers. Mike Woods, not boding well for his 3-week ambitions, but that's probably not the rider he is or was planning on being anyway. It's just a fantastic effort for him to even wear the blue jersey after breaking his femur in Paris-Nice earlier this year. Geraint Thomas is actually pulling quite strongly, chasing Simon Yates. You can't let the gap go out too much, Thomas, because the time trial for memory isn't actually that long, and Yates is gaining seconds constantly. It's up to 30 seconds. So, Yates isn't completely dog shit in a time trial, and it's not that long. So, yeah, that's why Thomas is helping out to relay. Vlasov is struggling actually a little bit. Compare this to his 6.6 watt per kilo for 20-minute performances on other climbs. He seems to be struggling a little bit. I don't know what the VAM is or whatever, but if Thomas is doing those sort of numbers after being trash in the Dauphiné, then that means he straight up wasn't trying in the Dauphiné and didn't want to get picked for the Tour, because he's riding with some of the best GC riders in the world, Yates and Vlasov in Tirreno, and looking just fine. On the descent in the Tour, 30.9 Ks to go. Soler has been caught, Dan Martin has been caught, Nicolas Ede has been caught by, I think it's actually Kamna, and Kamna's a really good descender. We saw he gapped, I think, Hugh Carthy in a little descent just before. Schachmann is 10 seconds still behind Paulus as they're going to get into that valley before they begin that long staircase climb. 1.2 Ks to go in Tirreno. Still Simon Yates. The gap is now 28 seconds, 1:30 to Mike Wood, so he's cracked quite badly. Tour de France, 30.2 Ks to go. 30.1. Soler now pulling a group of 5 or so riders on this descent. You'd assume they'd all come back together on the climb, like at the base of the climb. I can't see Alaphilippe actually, but I assume he's there. Warren Barguil, 5th wheel. Schachmann kind of struggling to close the gap to Paulus actually. It's been hovering at 10 seconds for quite a while, and he's not making much inroads actually. He didn't make any inroads on the descent and maybe lost a couple of seconds there. So it's Nielsen Paulus trying to get himself some sort of advantage on that break before the climb. He's got 36 seconds on the main group, 10 minutes to the peloton. I think the producers need to be a little bit careful on not focusing on the break too much here. They need to be cutting back or having a split screen to the GC group quite often, because, there will be stuff happening, I think, in the GC group. Already maybe Ineos were trying to be conservative once again, but I think they need to be careful about focusing on the breakaway group too much. My picks in the breakaway group are Dan Martin, but he doesn't ride tactically too well. My picks really are Kamna and Martinez, but I think Kamna is being undervalued last time I checked, and I thought Alaphilippe and Martinez odds were too low. This is a Category 1. I don't see Alaphilippe winning this stage. After yesterday's efforts, he didn't look that strong yesterday either. I don't really understand why Alaphilippe went down to 2-1, 3-1 during this stage at certain points right at the start. Warren Barguil, haven't seen too much from him. Marc Soler's probably been one of the strongest riders, and there is a proper split now. And who's that? Is that an Ineos rider? No. I feel like I've had a mental blank. Where's Pierre Rolland? Schachmann has caught up to Paulus. Now that they're onto the climb, Schachmann's talking with him. Paulus spoke back. Schachmann pulls through, and he's smiling. I assume he's going to work with him, and he's just putting the hurt on Paulus. I don't think he's too concerned about Paulus actually winning this stage at all. This is just, Leonard Kamna. Now there's now a reduction in that breakaway group. It seems to have halved, and it's now the guys I mentioned, Martin, Kamna, Alaphilippe, etc., Martinez. And this means Kamna can sit on with 28.8 Ks to go on the Tour. He can just sit on because he got Schachmann up the road. In Tirreno, it's Simon Yates about to cross the line, winning the stage. Pretty impressive stage win from Simon Yates, actually. And Mitchelton and Scott have looked really, really good at Tirreno. Lucas Hamilton winning that stage yesterday. Jack Haig's looked in better form, although he's leaving next year. And now Simon Yates winning the stage. And I presume once we check bonus seconds at the time or at the line or whatever, he's going to go into the blue jersey. So yeah, great from Yates. He goes into the leader's jersey. I can take my phone off, whatever. It wasn't charging anyway. Micah's still pacing, so we'll see how much time Thomas has lost. But now I can focus on the Tour entirely, because some people are complaining about the Tirreno coverage, which, no, it's a World Tour race. It's not RCS' fault that it was scheduled at the same time as the Tour de France. Ready to sink the stream. 28.2 Ks to go. It's 28.2 Ks to go on the Tour. It's Ineos on the front in the peloton. They have reduced that gap to the breakaway by about 30 seconds since they've been pacing on that climb, on that, I think, Category 3 climb. They've got Dylan van Baarle and Luke Rowe who are swapping off. But who do you guys think is going to win this stage? It's obviously going to come from the breakaway in the Tour. Who do you think it's going to be? 27.9 for me now. Luke Rowe pacing on the front for Ineos. Geesink is the first man for Jumbo-Visma. Benoit Cosnefroy getting dropped. He's been a bit disappointing, actually. I thought he was going to do a little bit better this tour. I mean, he is in the polka dots, but he won't hold that jersey for long. Eric Guzman, cheers for the 5. Buenos dias, mate. Good morning, Eric. Hope you're on the turbo trainer, getting some, watching, listening on the turbo in the Jumbo kit. Do we think Roglic or and co, do you think there's going to be GC action? I think Pogacar, it looks like there will be. Luke Rowe is working pretty hard. They got Luke Rowe, Amador, Dylan van Baarle, Kwiatkowski, Castroviejo, then Egan Bernal. Carapaz is last wheel. Geesink is looking like he's having to work pretty hard. It's Roglic actually second wheel, Wout van Aert third wheel, and I can't see whether it's Bennett or Koos fourth wheel for Jumbo-Visma. They seem to have lost a rider. Even Mads Pedersen is still there. Mads Pedersen is still in this group. So it's still a really large group. Let's see about the break. What did someone ask me? Linda, cheers to the 5. Appreciate all your support. I'll be doing some Giro Rosa coverage in a second. Or when I'm able to, when the highlights come out and I can see them on SBS. I think Linda, the Giro Rosa highlights are on SBS at some point. The peloton's now onto the descent, 26.7 Ks to go. Mark Hirschi, I think we just saw at the back. Apparently people are saying it was a technical descent. Don't know about that. If it's there's not going to be a separation on the descent for the GC guys. Justin B, cheers to the Canadian 5. That time sync G'd me up. Well, you reminded me again, Justin. Everyone get your little fingers ready. The time sync is 26.4 Ks to go. 26.4. It's Remy Cavagna driving it really hard on the front of the breakaway, trying to set up Alaphilippe. Alaphilippe is on the radio. The break is still everyone back together. Pavel Sivakov is the Ineos rider. He was the guy I had a mind blank about who it was. Camden's still there. Simon Geschke's fourth wheel. Pierre Roland's second wheel in this breakaway. David de la Cruz. Marc Soler has looked very, very strong in this break. De la Cruz is losing the wheel to Geschke, so Martinez and Camden need to be careful here. Pierre Roland is pulling. Alaphilippe is pulling through. Just got to be careful here that Alaphilippe doesn't slide off the front with Geschke, although he does look like he's just pulling a turn. Geschke's rolling through. If I was them, I'd be telling David de la Cruz to get the hell out of the way because he's going to lose this wheel ASAP. And he's not able to pull a turn. He's sitting behind Geschke. He's not pulling. It's Sivakov pulling now. Warren Barguil is there. My pick, obviously, with the heart is Kamna. Schachmann and Paulus are further up the road with 25.8 Ks to go. Schachmann is in mock TT position. I don't know what the time gap is. It hasn't said it for quite a while. Eric Guzman with the 5. What's the over-under on mentions by announcers that Mark Hirschi knows Fabian Cancellara? Yeah, I mean, you got to find one interesting fact. You can't talk about, how did the Swiss team use him tactically in the 2018 or whatever under-23 World Championships, whenever it was, because that would involve actually doing some work and looking into his previous races as a junior and in his development. So it's much, or even Classica. Got a World Tour race. Classica San Sebastian podium last year. That's too much effort, so we just talk about random anecdotes. But yeah, I don't know what the mentions are, Eric. There's going to be no more mentions of that from me, that's for sure. Linda with the 5 for all the owners of the Lonely Hearts. Our heart's going to be full here, Linda, because our boy Camden's going to win this stage. Ready to sync up, 25.1 Ks to go. Sivakov pulling on the front. It says there's a 35-second gap from this Roland and larger breakaway group to Schachmann and Paulus. I think once they get onto that climb proper, that's going to come down a lot. But it's working, right? The tactics for Bora are working because Roland, Cavagna, Alaphilippe, they're all having to pull to chase back Schachmann when he was probably going to get dropped on that Cat 1 anyway. And maybe, if they let him go, then he'll probably beat Paulus on the climb. So it's really good tactics from Bora right now. It's a shame, Camden's second wheel right now on Barguil's wheel. Camden's not pulling through. Soler's having to pull through. So Camden's getting a free ride. It's a tough finish to this stage. Probably going to be too tough for Schachmann and Paulus, but still, they're getting this attrition on the other riders in the break anyway. Sam Bennett now getting dropped with 24.6 Ks to go. Linda's just loaded up on the super chats when I had the 4-day absence and going crazy with the 5. Can you say hi to my husband, Matt, meaning Matt Keenan? I'm sure, do you guys international overseas, do you hear Matt Keenan? He's like the Tour de France official commentator. He reached out to me on Instagram, actually, Linda, so I don't want to make you too jealous, but before the tour started, Matt Keenan got into the old DMs of the Lanterne Rouge, so yeah, I can say hi to him. I'll message him after the stage. Sam Bennett is in like a group 3 minutes or 4 minutes behind the peloton. Schachmann has now got a 40-second advantage with 24.2 Ks to go. Do you guys think this Schachmann Paulus group doesn't have a real chance? I don't think, unless the breakaway just completely shut down. But we saw yesterday, guys. I'm not sure how many of you have been listening to the podcast. A lot of people have been enjoying it. Valentin Madouas pulling now in the breakaway. I'm not sure how many of you have been listening to in the pod, but we spoke a lot about yesterday about how in the Tirreno and Tour stages there was a lot of dysfunction in the chase of the breakaway of Hirschi and Lucas Hamilton in Tirreno. And that's not happening yet in the break. That's not happening yet. They're all rolling turns. But eventually, as they start to get a bit tired into this climb, they're going to be like, I'm not continuing to pull like this when we're 23.8 Ks to go. Linda's now correcting me. Linda's actually meant to say hi to her husband, who's actually called Matt. Her husband being Matthew Heyman. So sorry about that, Linda. Hi to Matthew Heyman, obviously winner of Paris-Roubaix in, I think, 2016. So, yeah, shout out to you. In the back of the peloton, it's, I think, either Postelberger or, no, it's Buchmann. Buchmann is getting dropped, actually, off the wheel of Higuita. Higuita looks terrible, and Buchmann doesn't look too good either. They're at the back with TJ Van Garderen. TJ Van Garderen obviously doing most of his work on Instagram these days than on the bike. Paulus now pulling for Schachmann, 23.2 Ks to go. Eric Guzman with the 5 says, how many watts is Leonard Kamna putting down in the big ring right now? Well, 8,000 watts. Leonard Kamna has it just 8,000 watts all day. You like that little soundbite? I might put that in the podcast later. But yeah, 8,000 watts, Eric. That's what Leonard says he has it on all day. Dominic Holland actually further correcting me, saying Linda's actually married to Matthew Goss, the Australian sprinter. Like, quite an underrated sprinter, Matthew Goss. So, Linda, if you could please confirm, that would be very helpful, because the stream, there's a lot of conflicting information for me right now. But anyway, enough shenanigans. 22.8 Ks to go. Do we think it's hard enough for Bernal to attack? It is quite steep. Like I'm told, it's quite steep, the Col de Neron. You see there, we actually, how convenient with the PCS Pro Cycling Stats overlay. It's 4Ks at 8.5%, but you see that the black section, there's like 12%, 11% sections right there. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be a Pogacar attack, and then he'll be joined by Roglic. I don't know who. Probably Bernal will join him. Bernal does like steep stuff, I think. And Ineos are riding on the front. But then you look at the profile, and you got this plateau, short descent, then a further climb that's not so steep. Maybe I'm pointing the wrong direction. Hold on. Oh no, I had it. So yeah, I don't know. It's one of these tough stages like Montegualo where they had the plateau and then a descent into the finish, and it's like 20 k's from the finish or whatever. And if it's not a pure mountaintop with a steep finish, is it worth it for the GC riders? Obviously, Jumbo Visma have decided it's not worth it. They just rode on the front, chilling today. Pretty much, they let the break get 11 minutes. It's Ineos who are actually started riding in the last 10 to 15 kilometers. I think Ryan Phelan said before that Alaphilippe looks tired. I agree to that. I agree with that. I agree Alaphilippe looks tired. I don't think he'll win this stage. I think Martinez and Kamna are better on this sort of terrain, and Kamna's beaten these guys before. Going to his pro cycling stats, Kamna, I'm pretty sure he's beaten these guys before on this sort of terrain. I don't think Alaphilippe can hold his wheel up this sort of climb, but as you know, I'm pretty biased. Eric says, "Can I say hi to Matt?" I don't know which Matt. It could be Matthew Vanderpoel, Eric. Matthew Vanderpoel, Matthew Goss, Matthew Heyman, Matthew Keenan, Michael Matthews, if they just use his surname. I don't know. Joseph Baxter says he's backing Pierre Rolland. That's a hard no from me, Joseph. No way. He's already like kind of burnt energy a little bit before. I mean, if Pierre Rolland wins the stage, then I don't know if I want to do the podcast afterwards because Benji's going to be pretty insufferable. So yeah, hopefully he doesn't win the stage. Freezy says Bernal going to try to bridge to Sivakov. A little bit far that gap. I think it's Sivakov going for stage win. But you never know. Maybe they'll just drop him back and they'll get him to chill for 5 minutes on the climb. Who knows? Linda with the 5 again. Bling could join a menage a trois. Okay. Guys, I can't read out this if I had my say. Who's Katie? Oh, that's wild. I'm getting thrown now. Ben Cray with the Swiss franc 5, which is like 1,000 Australian dollars. LR, did you know that the Puy Marie is an extinct volcano? I didn't know that. Did you guys know that this was a volcano? Did you guys know this was a volcano stage? First I've heard of it. Okay, back to the race. You guys are out of control. You're all a problem. 20.3 k's to go. If you've just joined the stream, 20.3 k's to go. There's a large breakaway group, 9 minutes and 30 seconds ahead of the peloton, containing Alaphilippe, Leonard Kamna, Danny Martinez, the Colombian for Education First, Dan Martin, Warren Barguil, Pavel Sivakov, and Marc Soler. All those riders could conceivably win the stage. About 45 seconds ahead of them is 50 seconds now is Schachmann for Bora Hansgrohe and Nielsen Paulus for Bora and Education First respectively. They have 50 seconds on that large breakaway group. That's allowing Kamna, Carthy and Martinez to sit on in that break, so quite useful with 19.8 k's to go. In the peloton, it's Ineos pacing. They have their full squad pacing in sort of the valley right now. Warren Barguil and David de la Cruz and Soler and Dan Martin are having to pace in the break. But in the peloton, Dylan Van Baarle, Luke Rowe, Andre Amador sort of exchanging turns, pacing. Are they going to set up Egan Bernal? You can see the Col de Naran profile there, 4 point whatever Ks at 8.5% with that steep latter half. And then a further climb, the Cat 1 up to La Puy Marie, which apparently is a volcano. So there's maybe going to be some GC action. Alaphilippe is pulling right now in the break. Leonard Kamner is just sitting on Simon Geschke and the Education First boys, so looking pretty good for him. Eric with the 5 says, did Linda just make you blush? I can't blush because I'm a robot, Eric, so no blushing. I was just confused. Yeah, Max, you're pretty right. I mean, my whole life I've been called that at school and whatever. It's probably correct. Um, Giddy Seagal says, I thought you were 13. Incorrect. I'm 12. Did you guys see that? See that Nairo ended up in a hedge earlier today? Nairo ended up in a hedge, but they got him back on the bike. He seems to be Eat-Swa. Roman Bardet crashed too for the second time this tour. Luckily, I think Nairo Man could have a little dig today. I'd love to see Nairo Man having a crack. But Bauke Mollema, our boy, Bauke Mollema had to abandon. I think he's ridden 12 consecutive Grand Tours now. Schachmann is riding away from Paulus. Schachmann has ridden away from Paulus with 18.3 Ks to go at the Tête de la Course. The Bora Hansgrohe rider, who I'm pretty sure his collarbone is in 2 pieces right now. We've been speaking about this after that crash in Lombardia. Thanks for the Nairo and Green emoticons, everybody. Schachmann, the gap to him is extended. It's like a minute ahead of the chasing Breakaway. I don't know if, yeah, I don't know if they're working. Like someone's going to have to attack from this group, right? Like they're all pacing, they're all pacing, but they're not really gaining on Schachmann. They're like 53 seconds behind. Ben Cray with the Swiss Franc 5. I'm in a WhatsApp group called Lanterne Rouge Fanboys with 2 other people. Who wants to join? I don't know if you're just setting me up to plug. If you want to join channel membership, it's less than 5 Swiss francs. I think it's like $2.99 Australian, which is 50 Swiss franc cents, if you even have cents there, because you've got too much money in Switzerland. And join the members, or become a Lanterne squad member, and you can join the Discord where it pops off pretty much every day. We're talking about the tour, and when I'm not live streaming because I'm too tired, that's where I'm talking about the race, and we're all chatting about the race. It's pretty good. And also, if I'm like interviewing Kamner and stuff about, hey guys and girls, I'm interviewing Kamner and what questions you want me to ask. So yeah, if you want to join through YouTube channel membership, up to you. But if you don't, that's fine too. Schachmann's gone clear with 17.4 Ks to go. The man, look at him. Look at my head. Look at my head. I'm Maximilian Schachmann. Whew. I've had too much Diet Coke today. Danny Martinez is now actually taking up the chase because Nielsen Powers has been dropped. So this is why having a stronger rider in Schachmann than Nielsen Powers is so useful strategically for Bora Hansgrohe, because Kamner still gets to sit on. Alaphilippe is looking there. He's getting tired, guys. 17.1 Ks to go. They're having to pull. Carthy looks really tired. He's pulling. What is it? David de la Cruz looks fucked as well. Kamner's just drinking a bit on at the back. I feel like if they start to bring back Schachmann, they're gonna, like, Kamner will attack straight away. I think Kamner should be stage favourite. Honestly, I think Kamner should be stage favourite. You saw what he did in Dauphiné. He's been able to sit on Kemner. I just call him Leonard. He's been sitting on for like half an hour. He's got his teammate Schachmann up the road. All the other favourites have had to be pulling. Martinez, Alaphilippe, Martin, Barguil, Soler. They all had to be pulling. And yeah, he's just getting to sit on. So either maybe Schachmann. The gap is now 1:15, but they're not on the. Are they on the steep section? No, they aren't. They ain't on the hard climb bit. Yeah, I'm pretty sure, right? They're on like the false. They're on the sort of the false flat uphill section, which isn't categorized as a climb. Like really, if you look at the profile right here, it's that taken as a whole is an HC climb. So they are finishing on an HC climb, but um, yeah, they've not categorized it as such. They've said there's a category 2 and then a category 1, even though there's like just a plateau in between them. Gershke, there's now a lot of dysfunction in this breakaway group right now, guys. Martinez is pulling on the front, and this is not that not that far uphill, so there is a draft. There is a benefit to drafting here. Gershke tried to slip off the front, 1:15 to Schachmann. I still think Thomas Willis. I slid into Bridie O'Donnell DMs. Did she respond? Did she respond? Man, I don't want to say anything because I'll probably get in trouble. Not that I really want to work for SBS. They ain't got enough money for me, baby. Schachmann, 15.6 Ks to go. If you're ready to sync up, 15.6, 15.5 now. Schachmann on this little descent before the Col de Neron starts. Do you think Schachmann with 1:15 on that breakaway group can actually beat them over the top of this climb? Or at least hold an advantage of sorts? Maybe he'll be really useful if Kemner can bridge across to him. But it's looking really good for Bora Hansgrohe so far. Magic for Schachmann having, a broken collarbone so recently. Back in the peloton, this is the first signs we've seen in the peloton recently. It looks pretty chilled, to be honest. Roglic is there, second wheel with his contingent of riders behind him. Ineos is still pacing, but not very hard on the front. So maybe Ineos are doing what they did on Montegual, and they're kind of chilling, and then they're going to use Galibier and Col de la Loze stages to really gain some time, because this sort of erratic, up and down. You see right now, if you're watching the coverage, 14.9 Ks to go, you just see the average gradients. Or maybe they are trying to set up Bernal to gain some time back. You'd think they might. 15% gradients in the end. Hard climb, end of 191.5 K stage. But yeah, Schachmann has just started the Col de Neron with 14.8 Ks to go. He takes a bidon and he drops his bidon and his gel and he throws it in front. How many dropped gels and bidons have we seen recently? We've seen it so often in the breakaway guys, and I guess it's because of fatigue. But I think they just try to do it so quickly. And we've seen that so many times. Happen with Zakharin, happen with someone else. It's a real shame. And that's why a lot of riders carry all their food in their jersey pockets, because shit like that happens, and now he's got 14.6 Ks to go on a Cat 1 or HC climb, pretty much, in a hard climb right now, and he's at risk of bonking. Marc Soler attacks. Marc Soler's probably been one of the stronger riders. I don't back David de la Cruz to actually bring them back. It's more of a mini acceleration. I don't think this is going to be particularly helpful for the group behind him. Danny Martinez needs to get on that wheel, because De La Cruz will lose it if it keeps going. Kemner's fourth wheel. Our boy Lenny Kemner is going to win this fucking stage, boys and girls. I'm telling you, he's looking good. Alaphilippe dropping. Warren Barguil struggling. Danny Martinez third wheel. Hugh Carthy struggling as well. Geschke, Madouar not looking too good. So it's really, I think, going to be between Martinez and Kemner. Linda with the 5, Eric Guzman, you could say hi to my Matt, but I'm not sure that he would respond. Why are you guys having a conversation via Super Chat? So strange. The gap is held constant at 1 minute and 10 seconds to Schachmann. This is a magic stage. I'm loving this stage. Holderberg says, how is David de la Cruz not focused on helping Pogacar? What the hell? And well, Pogacar doesn't need help. Pogacar just sits on the Jumbo Ineos train and then can ride for himself. He's probably a stronger climbing than them. Little sync up moment for you. I'm about to tell you when it's 14 Ks to go. I'm about to tell you. Currently, it is 14 Ks to go in the stage 13 of the Tour de France. Soler is pulling a group with David de la Cruz, Martinez and Camden need to get onto Soler's wheel because David de la Cruz is going to lose Soler's wheel. Pierre Rolland is fourth wheel. Alaphilippe got gapped and is struggling. He's on Nicolas Ede's wheel, who has lost the wheel of Pierre Rolland. Warren Barguil, he's not going to be a factor. Warren Barguil in live odds was like 12 to 1. I was like, get the fuck out of here, man. Warren Barguil ain't done shit for. I should probably calm down a little bit. He hasn't done very much, I didn't think, on his Palmares in recent history, particularly at RKS Samsic. But maybe that's just my gut telling me that, and he's actually had some good results. Schachmann beginning to struggle visibly, but he always kind of looks like that with 13.8 Ks to go. Soler keeps surging right now, and yeah, Nicolas Ede is there, fifth wheel. The break has been whittled down by this Soler attack. Does anyone know why Soler is working so hard? Does anyone know? Like, how's he going to win the stage unless he's Marco Pantani and he can drive them back to them and then win the stage? You can't win the stage if Martinez and Kemner are sitting on you if you do bring back Schachmann. Martinez attacks now, so Soler pulls off. David de la Cruz is struggling. Soler now is. You see this? What I was just talking about. With 13.4 Ks to go, Soler has put himself into difficulty, even though he's one of the strongest riders in this breakaway. Now having to get back to the wheel of Martinez, who has Kemner sitting on, and Kemner won't help him. Alaphilippe is cracked properly. Alaphilippe is gone for this stage. I told you that would happen. If you listen to me, you make money. No, actually, I can't say that you make money. You probably you won't. Justin B with the Canadian 5, G'd up. Aspartame is bad for you, but here's another can of G'd fuel. Maybe Coke will sponsor you, lol. You think I care about my health? Guys, I've had 3 hours average sleep for 2 months straight. My health is done. If I don't have the DCs and the black coffees, there would be no Lanterne Rouge YouTube channel. Pierre Rolland is on Nicolas Ede's wheel. They're trying to bridge back to Danny Martinez. Camden is on his wheel. Full disclosure, I'll make about $1,500 to $1,800 if Camden wins the stage. So you can chill out on the super chats today, guys, because our boy Camden is going to win. This is so good tactics, so good tactically from Bora Hansgrohe. I thought Bora's tactics were really, really good the other day. I can't remember what happened. In the Sagan relegation stage, I thought that attack from Purstleberger was really, really smart and it was really, really effective. And it was why Sagan was actually able to be sort of competitive in the sprint. Schachmann looking still pretty strong though, like he ain't cracking or anything. Dylan back to the peloton guys. They're 9 minutes and 11 seconds behind with 12.9 Ks to go. The Ineos train is that Luke Rowe has dropped off, but it's still Dylan Van Baal, Castroviejo second wheel, Kwiatkowski third wheel, Bernal fourth wheel, Carapaz fifth wheel. For the Jumbo guys, I see Hessink on the front with Roglic and Dumoulin and Sepp Kuss. So no George Bennett there again. No, George Bennett is there, sorry. George Bennett and Van Aert were there. They were just out of shot. Mikel Landa has one rider in front of him. I can't tell who. Jesus Harada coming out to the left with Oliver Narsson. So it's not been too hard to pace, guys. Oliver Narsson's still there. He had a crash earlier. Soler's trying to bridge back on this steep section, or he's cracked. I can't tell. It's just focused on him. It looks, the way he's pedaling squares, it looks like he's cracked. 12.7 Ks to go. No spoilers in the chat. We need you to sync up to the stream. Sync up at 12.7 Ks to go. No spoilers in the live chat. Danny Martinez is bridging across to Maximilian Schachmann, and I'm getting a little bit hot on the collar here, guys, because I think Martinez should be able to bring it back to Schachmann. Martinez is a better climber than him, and Kemner's being able to sit on him, and man. Ooh, Philip Swami earns himself a little timeout. Max says, am I on the DCs and the nose beers? Por que no los dos? Still Martinez pacing back. He's put a fair bit of time into Schachmann now. Martinez has put 30 seconds into him, and it's 43 seconds to Schachmann. I can't see how long is left on the climb. I think Schachmann is going to go over the top of the climb, still clear of Martinez. So that will mean on that flatter section, Martinez will have to work, and Kamna will get a proper rest. Schachmann should not sit up. Schachmann should 100% not sit up because if Schachmann goes over the top clear and you've got that false flat downhill section, that will allow Kamna to pretty much freewheel on the wheel of Martinez, and Martinez will have to keep pedaling and they got 1K to go, Martinez and Kamna. So yeah, Schachmann should still keep going full. Lutsenko now getting dropped from the peloton. Maybe he's saving the legs for the other stages tomorrow. Quintana is back in the main bunch, I'm pretty sure. Dylan Van Baal has finished his turn in the peloton. It's now Jonathan Castroviejo pacing with Mikhail Kwiatkowski second wheel. I think the peloton guys are coming up to the base of the Neron climb. They haven't even started it yet because they're 9 minutes behind. Schachmann has 750 meters left in the climb, 12 Ks to go exactly. Yeah, what happens if Martinez can't bring back Schachmann at all because this false flat's coming up? I mean, maybe he will on this next climb, but man, Leonard, he gets to choose his montage music again if he wins. This stage, I think, suits Roglic more than the other riders. I'd be very surprised if Roglic was put into difficulty on a climb like this. A short, steep climb, an 8 to 13-minute effort is really Roglic's wheelhouse, I feel, and better than, say, Egan Bernal, who likes those 50-minute climbs with then a 5 to 8 minute surge at the end. I think this sort of climb that Iran suits Roglic. He then gets to recover in the wheels, assuming they are still there, and then finish the Puy-Marie climb. Martinez, now the 37 seconds the gap, so he's not really bringing it back too quickly at the end of this climb. It's holding stable at 40 seconds. Schachmann's holding that gap pretty stable, actually. Maybe Martinez is, it's kind of a lost cause for him unless he's on Mutant Watts, because how's he going to bring back Schachmann? And then he's got Kamna, who's just been sitting on him the whole day. 34 seconds, it actually has come down just then. 300 meters left in the climb, 11.6 Ks to go for Schachmann. What an exciting stage, just because I hope there is some GC action behind them. We can't trust the tour organisers to film them, the peloton or the main GC guys, but yeah. Schachmann looks the same as he has for the last half an hour, honestly. He's looking, I think, pretty strong. I don't think he looks in trouble at all. I think he's looking really good. That's what Schachmann looks like. And that gap is still saying 35 seconds. Now, it could be wrong. We can't always trust it, but he, Oscar Marzalek with the PLN 10. F-Sleep, ITV will put you up in London. Not yet, Oscar. Maybe soon. Maybe next year. But Scott Morrison, my father, the Australian Prime Minister, he won't let me leave Australia yet. That being said, I guess I should be able to leave because I can go to Ireland, because Ireland has to let me in if I'm a citizen, right? Anyway, I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. Anyone time it? Who's timing it? Ryan Phelan. Who's timing it? Freezy. What's the actual gap, guys? Is it 30 seconds? It looked less than the 38 they were saying. But now Martinez is looking tired. 27 seconds. 27 seconds apparently. Okay, but Martinez, he's going to get tired, and he's looking around at Kamna. Honestly, my biggest concern right now is that they can't catch Schachmann. That's my biggest concern. 10.6 kilometers to go. How many have we got in the live stream? We've got a couple of people. What have we got? 150? Ooh, got 1,000 people. We only started about half an hour ago. You guys must have missed me. 10.3 kilometers to go. Tebow. What are we going to do with you? Do you guys know that Thibaut Pinot was 20-1 at the start of this stage? And I said, lay. What the fuck? What reason could there possibly have been that he had a 5% chance to win this stage? Like, what are people watching? Out of their fucking mind. 10Ks to go on the dot. Maximilian Schachmann on this false flat downhill sort of descent. Adam Yates is getting distance from the peloton right now, so there is some action in GC. I guess Pello Bilbao, a helper for Landa, is getting distance. Guillaume Martin, was that Guillaume Martin as well? I think he's like third on GC, so there is going to be some GC movement today, guys. Camner is on the wheel of Danny Martinez, who's still pacing him. This is what I was talking about. This is why Schachmann, him going over the top of that climb was really important, because he gets to do 100 watts. I know he does like to do 8,000 watts at all times, but he's probably not doing 8,000 watts right now. And yeah, Will Camner, Roman Bardet is getting dropped to Adam Yates, and Guillaume Martin dropped, so the pace must be quite high. They're on this steep section. The cameras really need to focus right now on GC. Egan Bernal is third. Will I see with this shot from right behind? Roglic still has teammates there. Egan Bernal only has 2 other teammates though. Maybe I missed Carapaz sitting behind him. Instead, they're focusing on Pinot and Bardet getting dropped, which, as we know, is kind of frustrating. Because there could be an attack at any moment out of this GC group. It's Kwiatkowski pulling. Dumoulin looks like he's under a lot of pressure. Roglic looks very comfortable. Pogacar is there behind Roglic. He obviously has no teammates, Pogacar, but that doesn't matter for him. Quintana is there. Uran is there. Kwiatkowski struggling, but pulling quite hard. It's Carapaz second wheel for Ineos. Egan Bernal on his wheel. Now, you've got to remember how this climb gets really steep, and I think they're on that section right now. Is it too early for him to launch it over this climb? And then they got that false flat descent, etc. Martin is going to lose that podium position on GC, you would think. There's no one to help him. Carapaz attacks. No one should react to this. No one should react. Dumoulin should not pull. No need to pull to chase back Carapaz. This is where you can't play in to what Ineos are trying to make you do. Ineos are trying to make you do this. Whereas Carapaz is 4 minutes behind on GC. He's not a threat. Now, maybe the plan for Dumoulin and for Jumbo-Visma is to drill it anyway, because, hey, they got Sepp Kuss waiting in the wings. Bennett's been dropped, though. They got Kuss, and Kuss is coming to the front right now. And yeah, so maybe they didn't really pull because Carapaz was there. Maybe they're like, we got these boys on the limit. Anyway, they didn't take any bidons because when you're on ketones, you don't even need bidons. They got 1K to go on the climb. Roglic looking very good. Adam Yates has made it back to that group, so they've obviously chilled out a little bit. Richie Porter's hanging on the back. Uran is there. Bardet dropped a fair bit. Kind of surprised how Yates made it back. It must have slowed down a fair bit, and that's why Carapaz was pulling for a sink. If you want to sink, 7.8 Ks to go. 7.8 Ks to go. And I want to see what the gap is to Schachmann and Martinez and Kemner. Romain Bardet is making his way back to that group of Guillaume Martin and Pello Bilbao. I think Mikel Landa is still there. This is why, guys. This is why every time people are, oh, Romain Bardet, he was 4th on GC, can't lose. Okay, he was never going to contest GC, guys. Best case, 8th or 9th. Romain Bardet could have won the stage today. Romain Bardet could have won the stage yesterday. He probably would have been one of the favourites in the break if he had done so. But yeah, he just didn't lose time like Alaphilippe, and he was focusing on GC without saying he was. Dumoulin pulling now with 7.1 Ks to go in the GC group. Roglic looking real solid second wheel. I think it's Enric Mas, the Movistar rider there. Miguel Angel Lopez looking pretty good. Egan Bernal 4th wheel. Pogacar just sitting next to Sepp Kuss. They're now mopping up Remy Cavagna. I don't think Bernal will be attacked. Bernal will not attack. Guys, Bernal will not attack if Sepp Kuss is there. Look what happened in Dauphiné. I'm telling you, no one will attack except maybe Pogacar, if Sepp Kuss is there, because Bernal is terrified of Sepp Kuss, and for a good reason. The gap from Schachmann to Kemner and Martinez is now 20 seconds on this descent, 6.5, 6.4 Ks to go for him, so Martinez is having to do all this work to pull back. 6.3 Ks to go. Schachmann in super tuck. I'd assume Martinez is able to bring it back to him on this next climb, but yeah. Pello Bilbao telling the camera motorbike to go ahead of Guillaume Martin because he's worried about Martin coming back to Mikel Landa. That's some real that's some F1 like Williams team and and like another rubbish team trying to fight out for 15th position. It's like, guys, come on. The motorbike being in front of Guillaume Martin to take a little photograph ain't changing too much, Peo. Chill out. 5.5 Ks to go. So they're not really on the climb proper yet. Schachmann's, I think he's just about to start the climb because he's still going downhill. So yeah, it's not that long a climb. I think 5 Ks, what was it? 5 Ks at 7.5%, 7.7%. I do expect Martinez to catch him, but this tactically, Bora Hansgrohe could not have played this better tactically. The gap looks to me, guys, not sure if you were timing it, guys and girls, because I know Katie was timing it too, was like 12, 15 seconds, I think, not a full 20 seconds. Schachmann is going to start the climb right about now. The peloton is just cresting the climb, or what, if you can call that a peloton. It's still 3 Jumbo-Visma, Roglic, Dumoulin, and Kuss looking very strong. They should get Dumoulin off the front pretty quickly because he ain't that good at descending. Guillaume Martin is making his way back pretty solidly, actually, to them. He only seems to be about 7 to 8 seconds behind them. 4.9 Ks to go for Schachmann. He has started the climb, I think. He's got a 7.5 minute gap on the peloton, so still a Breakaway will win today's stage, even despite the acceleration from that group. It's saying the gap to Martin was like 16 seconds. It looked a little bit less than that. Let's see if he can make it back on the descent. If Tom Dumoulin is on the front of for the descent, then Guillaume Martin should be able to make it back. Schachmann now beginning this next climb. I don't know what the time gap is. Maxi Sudo said 21 seconds. Did anyone else say 21 seconds? Anyone else have time gaps? We're going to obviously have 1,300 in the stream, despite a pretty short stream today. They got Schachmann in his sights. So Martinez has got Schachmann in his sights. I'm not sure what the gap is. Let me pick a spot on the road. I'm trying to get a time gap. You guys will probably do a better job than me at that. But yeah, Leonard Kemner has been able to sit on Martinez the entire time. So what do you think Kemner should do? Should the minute Martinez brings back Schachmann, should Kemner attack Martinez? That would probably make sense. Loving your work, Danny Martinez. Loving your work. My stream was buffering a little bit there. 7 minutes and 50, the gap to the Maillot Jaune. It's Bahrain McLaren who have taken over on the front, actually, for in the peloton. Richard Carapaz, second wheel. Obviously, no one wants to be behind Tom Dumoulin on this descent. Sepp Kuss is the first rider in line, actually, for Jumbo-Visma. Now, I don't know. Is Martinez? Surely Martinez is strong enough to bring back Schachmann. Surely he's strong enough to bring back Schachmann. Ryan Phelan says he should test him when they bridge and then go on the steep if he brings him back. I agree. That's what he should do. But where's Schachmann? I don't know. He's closing it steadily, but he's not closing it that quickly. Martinez is looking pretty strong, though. He's got it in the big ring. I don't know where does this climb get pretty steep at points? It does. It gets steep at the end, right? It gets steep at the end. So I think Schachmann will get brought back at some point because it does get quite steep. And I've got to pay my bills, guys. So, yeah. My missus said during the stage, I said to her, hey, Kemner is still 30-1, and he's in this group where Alaphilippe I don't think is looking too good. And she said, call them up right now, put another 50 on him. And I said, hey, come on. You don't need to support my complete degeneracy. And, yeah, I obviously regret not doing that. Kemner obviously still sitting on Martinez. The official gap is 19 seconds. Kuss is pacing the peloton on this false flat descent. It's a pedaling descent right now, but everyone's having a bit of a rest. Who do you think is going to launch Who do you think is going to launch on the finale out of the GC group? Is Roglic going to go try to get some bonus seconds? Will there be any bonus seconds on offer? Maybe not. I don't think Roglic will really attack, to be honest, because there might not be that much time to gain if there's no bonus seconds. He likes attacking, maybe getting a 3-5 second gap and then getting some bonus seconds as well when he got the stage win. 3.2 Ks to go. 3.2 Ks to go. Schachmann looking pretty strong. And I can't see Martinez behind him, but they're not on the steep section yet. Honestly, right now, I'm more concerned that Martinez won't be able to bring back Schachmann. Although it does say the gap is 15 seconds. 3.1 Ks to go. 3 Ks to go now. Martinez still bridging across with Kemna on his wheel to Schachmann. An absolute masterstroke or masterclass from Bora Hansgrohe tactically today. You think you compare what they did compared to Quickstep, Cavagna committing all that energy and pulling, and then Alaphilippe cracking, etc. So good for Bora Hansgrohe. My stream is buffering. Guillaume Martin is not really bringing them back right now on the descent. It's 20 seconds, and I think, that's why Bahrain and McLaren were pacing, because they wanted to distance Guillaume Martin, but now it's Tom Dumoulin on the front, so Guillaume Martin, if he knows how to corner without touching his brakes, should be able to catch this, the GC group. They look like they're going pretty easy. 2.6 Ks to go. Guillaume Martin off the back. We don't care about him at all. Please go back to Danny Martinez and Schachmann. I think I'm still so surprised Schachmann's been able to hold on that long. 15 seconds, you're telling me. My stream, I'm at 2.3 Ks to go. It doesn't seem to be that steep yet, right? I think it gets steep with 2 Ks to go. But remember, Schachmann missed out on that gel. Schachmann always has this pain face and the bobbling head, but I don't think he's on the steep section yet. I think he's still, like the speed he's going, etc. I don't think he's on a steep section yet. So Camden's able to rest, really, while on Martinez's wheel when there's still a real draft that's available. He just threw the bit on. He's starting the climb proper. 2 Ks to go. I think that gap is 20 seconds. I know it ramps up a lot. Martinez still pulling for Kemna. Kemna attacks. Why? Leonard, chill. Why is Leonard attacking him? Is he trying to wig out Martinez? What? I don't know if Schachmann's going to get brought back, actually. Like, Martinez looks pretty tired. Oh, no, he is. Chill. Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna have a meltdown. I got 4 figures on the line, baby. Yeah, Martinez is going to bring back Schachmann. I think actually Kemna was trying to freak out Martinez. Like, he just sort of attacked him, and Martinez was like, what are you doing? And it slowed him down for half a second. The peloton's 8 minutes behind. Guys, whatever happens, hats off to Schachmann. Like, to be able to maintain that gap of 8 minutes to the peloton is just insane. But yeah, the gap is now down to 7 seconds. Does certainly look like Martinez is going to bring back Schachmann, but what is Kemna going to do once they do get brought back? Obviously, Kemna has pretty good legs, you'd think. Is he going to attack Martinez straight away and test him? Let's see. We're about to find out. Schachmann, a fantastic effort from him. It tired out all of Soler, Alaphilippe, Warren Barguil. It's forced, Carthy got dropped. Pierre Rolland. It's forced Danny Martinez to bridge across and, to close this gap all on his own. But, Martinez. The thing is, if Martinez still has the legs, then he can still win the stage. Danny Martinez can still win the stage because now there's no real drafting benefits given the climb is so steep. But Kamna should have been able to do a lot less watts than him for the last fair while. 1.6 Ks to go. My palms are sweaty. I'm getting a real dry mouth. Martinez has finally made the bridge across to Schachmann, and surely, I don't know, he's not going to pull through. Is Kamna going to attack him straight away, or is Kamna struggling a little bit? Kamna's now coming up to his right-hand hip. Martinez looks behind to see if Kamna's going to attack him, but Martinez is still pulling, so... And Kamna attacks the right-hand side. Kamna attacks. Martinez trying to get onto his wheel. Martinez onto his wheel pretty easily. Martinez looking really, really strong. Danny Martinez can still win this stage, and Kamna sees that he's still there. Kamna should probably come off the gas a little bit, unless you can see that Martinez is about to crack. I don't know which of these two is better in a sprint. I'm a little bit worried that Martinez is on some real strong form right now. I think Leonard should wait up a little bit and wait for the steep section and try and crack him at the end. Or maybe wait for Schachmann to come back. It was not that strong an attack, but I don't think it was full from Leonard. But hopefully, Martinez is now pulling to his left. Martinez still, I don't know, I honestly think it's 50-50 between them for this stage. It's 50-50. We're obviously all rooting for Leonard, but Martinez, he has to have an incredible form to have bridged across like that on the climb that are on, and then on the descent with Kamna in the wheel, go straight past Schachmann. And now on this steep section, it's like, do you have the watts or do you not have the watts? He's not pulling too hard, so he is resting a little bit right now. It's allowing Schachmann to come back, and Schachmann probably won't be strong enough to do a faux attack right now, which Martinez has to close down. So I think Schachmann should just sit on. Schachmann should sit on for 500 meters, then just try and throw something at Danny Martinez if he can, and force him to surge with Kamna in the wheel, and then Kamna counter across. I think that's what he should do. And Martinez is pulling right now because he's probably worried about Schachmann doing something like that. So Schachmann should rest, Kamna should rest. They've got a 2-on-1 advantage. They need to attack with Schachmann first in the last kilometer at some point, but the problem is Martinez is pulling so strongly that maybe Schachmann will get ridden off the wheel right now. It's quite steep. 1K to go, 1 kilometer to go. Leonard Kamna, Bora Hansgrohe with his teammate, Maximilian Schachmann, Danny Martinez on the front, Kamna just sitting on his wheel. Do you guys know why? Do you know why Martinez is pushing? Does he just think he can... If he rides like this, he can nullify the 2-on-1 advantage because Schachmann will be cooked. And he didn't really... maybe he's not worried about Kamna. Maybe Martinez thinks he can ride Kamna off the wheel. What did you think about Leonard's first attack? Did you think Leonard's first attack was just testing Martinez? I think it was just testing to see if he'd crack properly. Danny Martinez is riding real strong right now. How many we got in the stream? Let me know how much we got in the stream. 875 meters to go. 1,250 in the stream. Danny Martinez, what a finish. And we're going to probably see GC action behind us, hopefully. Martinez rounds his right-hand hairpin. 810 meters to go. 4 hours, 58 minutes, and 43 seconds this stage. Martinez looking over his right shoulder. He's got the 2 Bora Hansgrohe riders behind him. Is Schachmann strong enough to do a counter or faux attack right now, which forces Martinez to close with 740 to go? What legs does Kamna have? Schachmann getting dropped off the wheel right now. So it is going to be, I think, one-on-one with Danny Martinez against Leonard Kamna. On this steep section, Schachmann's just radioing back saying that Martinez has dropped him. 700 meters to go. Kamna still sitting on the wheel for Martinez. He's been sitting on his wheel for 15, 18 kilometers right now. No spoilers in the chat. 665 meters to go. Martinez really pushing hard, trying to ride Kamna on the wheel. Kamna coming up to his right hip right now, and Kamna attacks to the right-hand side. Kamna attacks to the right-hand side hard this time. Martinez closes. Kamna's still pushing. Martinez closes it pretty easily, actually. I don't know if Leonard needed to attack then. Leonard should go back to chilling. Go back to chilling. I think Martinez is too strong. I don't know. Martinez attacks to the left-hand side. Kamna goes to get on his wheel. Martinez attacks to the left. Kamna's on his wheel, and I think he's gapping Kamna off the wheel. Is he? No, Kamna's still there. Kamna's still there. 490 meters to go. Martinez pushing. It's going to come down to a sprint, I think. Kamna is not... I think Martinez is definitely way stronger than Kamna today, but he just has to do so much extra work. No spoilers in the stream, but yeah, Kamna's had the benefit of sitting on, but I don't think quite as strong as Martinez. Just the way Martinez has been able to ride this climb has been super strong. Kamna in a big gear. Maybe that was another testing attack to see if Martinez would crack. 450 meters to go, 400 meters to go on my stream. 5 hours and 19 seconds this stage. Martinez still pushing. He's obviously wanting to keep Shackman at bay. 369 meters left. Does anyone know what Danny Martinez's kick is like? I mean, he's going to probably have to lead this out. 323 meters, it says on the tracker, but 350 meters on the road. Kamna gets into the drops. He's obviously eyeing off Martinez. Maybe he thinks he can take them. Tadej Pogacar has attacked in the peloton. Marked by Sepp Kuss. Primoz Roglic, third wheel. I can't see Egan Bernal. Anyway, Egan Bernal's been dropped. In the peloton. Danny Martinez in the drops right now. 260 meters to go. Marked by Leonard Kamna. Martinez is on that right-hand barrier. Kamna just left-hand side. He's just got his wheel next to the wheel of Martinez. It's going to come down to a sprint. Don't go too early, Leonard. Let him lead it out. Leonard. 200 meters to go. Danny Martinez on the front, the Colombian climber for Education First. Leonard Kamna, the young German for Bora Hansgrohe, behind him. 5 hours and 1 minute and 20 seconds this stage. We're into the last 100 meters. Martinez is playing this really, really cool. He's leaving this really, really late. Kamna attacks to the left-hand side. He catches Martinez napping a little bit, but he's gone really early with 100 meters to go. Kamna's kicking. Martinez is on his wheel. Martinez is coming back to him a little bit. 100 meters to go. Martinez is coming around to him on the left-hand side. Kamna's still kicking, but I think Danny Martinez is going to win this stage. Back in the peloton, it's Primoz Roglic and Tadej Pogacar. They've gapped the other riders. Richie Porte's trying to close them down. Pogacar and Roglic look like they're working together because Pogacar still needs to gain time on Guillaume Martin and Egan Bernal. Bernal has been dropped a fair bit. We've got 1,300 in the stream. Shackman, good ride from him. 50 seconds behind Kamna and Martinez. Oh, if I wasn't streaming, talking to you guys, I would have been able to hedge on Martinez. No matter. I didn't lose much money. I didn't really lose any money. Egan Bernal's been dropped. He's going past Rigoberto Urán. He's been dropped even by Mikel Landa and Miguel Angel Lopez. I broke even because I laid Alaphilippe. So I didn't lose any money, but I don't even care about the money, honestly. I just wanted Leonard to win because, imagine we did that video the other day. You guys would have been all so excited. Oh, fuck, man. Roglic and Pogacar looking really strong. I told you this climb would suit them. This sort of Vuelta stage. This is what they did in the Vuelta last year. Pogacar flicks Roglic through. He immediately starts pulling. It's Richie Porte chasing them. This is... the fuck is Richie Porte chasing them? Richie, you're not going to get on the podium, man, if you're chasing the guys who are going to come first and second. You're not going to beat... Roglic and Pogacar are not your competition, Richie. So why are you chasing them? Your competition for the podium are on your wheel. For maybe even 4th or 5th. So why are you chasing Pogacar and Roglic? It doesn't make sense, man. Pogacar now pulling with Roglic. Roglic looking pretty comfy. They're struggling to close that gap. Cheers for the Canadian 5, Justin. Appreciate it. Roglic and Pogacar still working. Roglic looking really comfy. Pogacar just lays it in though. Pogacar just looks so good. Rigoberto Urán is trying to bridge back. Man, I could have had that Danny Martinez hedge. I reckon he would have been decent odds as well, 4s or 5s in the when he was bridging. Fuck. I can't really see. I can give you a time sync, guys. 5 hours, 1 minute and 48 seconds, I think it is. Pogacar is now, it says in the I don't know what it said he was. Bernal is struggling. I'm a bit rattled. Sorry, guys. I'm a little bit rattled. No, I haven't logged in. I don't want to show you my login details. Pogačar pulling Roglic on his wheel. Roglic coming up to his left-hand side. But I think Miguel Angel Lopez and Port are going to bring back Roglic and Pogačar. Maybe Roglic is going to counter over the top of Pogačar. Who knows? Are there bonus seconds? Can someone confirm in the chat whether there's bonus seconds on offer? Aitor Altuna says, mate, stop betting. Mate, I had like $40 on Leonard Kamner at 45 to 1. And I also had lays on Alaphilippe and co. Why would I stop betting when I'm betting long shots who are coming second in a breakaway sprint in the Tour de France and like looking like they should have been 5 to 1 for the stage? Like, just think about, I know betting is supposed to be an efficient market and everything, but there's probably like 10 people in the world that know as much about professional cycling as me. Just being honest. Roglic is pulling with Pogačar on his wheel, and then of those 10 people, how many know as much about betting as me? 0. Richie Port is going so well on this climb. He's now distanced Miguel Angel Lopez and Landa. Roglic is really laying it into Pogačar. Pogačar's still holding on his wheel. 400 meters to go for Roglic. He's now in that robot mode, just spinning it, looking really strong in this finish. And I thought this climb would suit him. I'm not sure if he's flicking Pogačar through, but Richie Port's doing a really good job bridging to him. Remember, Richie Port bridged to them actually earlier in the Tour. Bernal is cracking, guys. Bernal looks like he's really struggling and losing time. And if Bernal is losing time today, doesn't bode well for Col de la Loze and the Galibier. It looks like, I think, a Slovenian 1-2 in Paris. I'm just going to say that now. You don't have to be a genius to think that like they're the two guys going up the climb the quickest. We're actually catching Nielsen Powers. Roglic just spinning it up, looking so good. He's making it look like a formality, and Pogačar's really struggling. Port is looking so good. Arthur G with the £5. Keep betting. It's amazing. Well, I guess you're enabling it now, Arthur. But yeah, cheers for the 5. What a stage. I'm obviously going to be doing an ITV video for this stage. You can check that out. I'll do that tomorrow, 9 a.m. British time. Port's brought them back, so Roglic is just setting tempo. I don't think he's really at the limit. Magic ride from Richie Port. Pogačar on the wheel of Roglic. We missed it, but it was Pogačar that lit this up, right? It must have been Pogačar that attacked and Sepp Kuss couldn't follow. 150 meters for Roglic. Did anyone confirm whether there were still bonus seconds left on the stage? Anyway, it's Roglic pulling, 100 meters to go. Pogačar on his wheel. I'm not sure if Pogačar is going to try come out of his wheel. I don't think he's even able to if he could. You can see how steep this finish is. Roglic looks full-on robot mode. Yellow jersey wearer. Doesn't even put the hand up. Just stops the Garmin over the line. Pogačar second. Now we've got to calculate the time gaps. Bernal's weaving over the road, guys. Weaving over the road. He has fully cracked. You got to make sure, look at the Lanterne Rouge Cycling Podcast. Me and Benji are going to be talking about this incredible stage straight afterwards. Wow, Bernal is nowhere. What's the time gaps? You guys got your stopwatches out? Oh, Bernal, I can't look at the odds because I'm trying to talk to you, but Bernal has lost a lot of time today. He's probably lost the white jersey even to Tadej Pogačar. Rigoberto Urán and Adam Yates caught back up to him. Bernal is done. Nah, he's probably not done, but yeah, like I gotta say, I got a pretty heavy bet in the head-to-head yellow white jersey competition between Pogačar and Bernal because Pogačar was $2.20, $2.25, and I was like, thank you. Tom Dumoulin, good ride from him. He's gapped Carapaz. So Dumoulin looking really solid, but still not capable of real GC contention. He's not as good as Richie Port, although he did have to pull. But yeah, Richie Port is looking really good, guys. I know. I guess this is stage 13 now, so we're in uncharted territory for Richie Port. Bernal looks fucked. Are you guys looking at this? Did you guys see that? I wish they'd stayed on that. Bernal looks absolutely fucked. Romain Bardet coming back. What was Ineos' plan? But yeah, Bernal's wheelhouse is the hour-long climb up to altitude at about 7 to 8%. That's his wheelhouse. Just riding like pretty steady, etc. But these sort of changing gradient climbs that we saw with steep pinches that aren't that long either, like this isn't actually that long a climb. Not his forte. Maybe Bernal missed a gel. But yeah, Bernal just struggles to follow like the attacks of Pogacar, whereas Roglic can get onto them easily. Disappointing day for Warren Barguil. He's not any good. Only a Ginger says Bernal lost 37 seconds. Bardet still coming back. Guillaume Martin has cracked, and he's going to be out of the top 10 just about. Bardet crashed, so excuses for him. But Guillaume Martin is, I think at least out of the top 8. What a stage. Stage 13 of the Tour de France. Alejandro Valverde actually looking pretty good, but maybe you'd have expected him in previous years to be contesting the finish of this stage. Guillaume Martin losing minutes. But yeah, real struggle for Egan Bernal on this climb. Like, to lose that much time, like, I get it, maybe at the end in the final sprint he gets gapped by Pogacar and Roglic, but to lose that much time and to be weaving across the road and then slumped over your bike at the end of it, not looking good for him. And I said it before the Tour, Bernal has never dropped a GC contender level climber below altitude. Literally never has. Never has. Pinot dropped him on the stages last year below altitude. So unless up to the Glibier or Col de la Loze, people, that's not that high altitude, unless he can gain back a lot of time there, it's not looking too good for Primoz Roglic. Vikram Venkatesh with their 100. Bardet freed finally. All right, guys, there's so many questions in the live chat. If you want to ask questions for us to answer on the podcast, the Lanterne Rouge Cycling Podcast, which, hey, guys, if you want to support me at the moment, you don't have to leave a super chat or anything like that. There is channel membership, which is really good, but through YouTube. But yeah, leaving a review of the podcast if you do like it on iTunes is a massive help. We've already got networks trying to pick up the podcast. It's weird. It's really strange how, like, you get 10,000 downloads per podcast and people are like, wow, you're a massive podcast. And statistically that is, but my YouTube channel doesn't really, 80,000 subs, 100,000 views in a day. People don't really reach out the same way. But anyway, did you guys enjoy the live stream? I was pretty G'd up in this live stream. It did end in heartbreak for me, but hey, I'll get over it. But yeah, thanks for listening, guys. Check out the podcast. It'll be dropping in about 2 hours, maybe a bit less. All right. See y'all.